Hi guys, this is Mark. Welcome back to my channel, whether you're watching this live on Twitch or whether it's on demand on YouTube. So I'm going to try and get through as many of these as I can. I've got just under an hour and a half before I need to disappear off for a house viewing, so we'll see. I'm hoping I can do 2 episodes per episode of reaction, but we'll see how things go. So the way that it was working before and with the previous episode, so we would hear the entry and then the judges would deliberate and then we'd hear another entry and we'd move on. And I was judging those basically on one listen. So some of my feedback wasn't as advanced as I would normally have given. Reason for that is I would normally listen to a casting round entry 2 to 3 times to give me a bit of time to get a feel for it. Going into these later rounds, I might listen to an entry 6, 7 or 8 times to provide some much more detailed feedback and inform a much more detailed score. Now, I'm not going to go to that extent this time around as I'm not actively involved in the show, so we're going to throttle it back a little. But I will write some notes out for you so that when we get to the deliberation and the scoring, we will go through from there. I'll give you an example. So this was my round 2 from 2022. So with this, we were trying to get to 20 entries in total. With round 2 2025, we're trying to get to 30 entries total. So I will be highlighting green my 30 entries that I think should be going through. I've got notes, I've got scoring. Just out of interest, my highest score that I gave in this round was an 8 for Daniel by the looks of it. Emma, eventual winner of the competition, I scored a 4 and was actually a no for me in this round. So it just shows how you can progress and develop. I nearly missed a trick on that one. But as you see, because we were scoring them live on the spot, I didn't put any comments in, but I'm going to type a few out while we're here. If I don't know the original as well, I would always listen to the original so I've got a point of context. There's going to be copyright issues with that when I bring these things up on Spotify, but by the same token, I'm not monetizing videos, so it shouldn't be a problem. There shouldn't be any getting muted and the like. So we're just going to roll with it for this first one, see how we go. And with any luck, I can crank through 2 of these before I have to leave, but we'll cut it short if needs be. So as you can see, I've got 8, 9, 10, 11 are already up, and there's another 2 that need to come out. Then there'll be the deliberation, then there'll be the voting where the scores are given and the eliminations are made, etc. And then we'll be on to the next one.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Next Top Singer. This is round 2. We have 2 different themes this round: alternative indie style music or songs with an inspirational message. There are 64 contestants competing for 30 spots, so the competition is fierce. From now on, you, the viewer, can affect the result by voting for your favorites. After the last entry of the round has been uploaded, voting will be open for 48 hours through the link below. The contestant with the highest number of votes among the ones slated to be eliminated will receive the audience star and move on to the next round. Now let's hear those first 10 performances.
Okay, so interesting concept, indie or inspirational. So some of the rounds are a little hit and miss for me and have been in the past. There's some I'm not a huge fan of. Indie and inspirational gives a fair amount of versatility, though. Indie, so it can work for the rock voices, it can work for the more poppy voices, depending in which direction you go. Inspirational, there is potential for big, powerful, open entries with lots of sustain. So this one has potential. This might go well. We shall see. Also, I haven't typed in my names, but it looks like these are being done in alphabetical order, so that's fine. You know what? I'm just going to type them. So normally I'd pre-prepare this, but we're just rolling with it.
Whippoorwill in the wintertime, have you been here long?
Okay, nice. So I'll take out the yes or no column for round 2. We're just going to have scores and we're going to go from there. Now, one thing I'll do as well is I'll look back through and see what my score would have been for the previous round, which we don't have, I don't think. No, we don't. Okay, so this is one thing that I've got here that's going to be a problem. So there was over 100 entries, but we've only got 60 odd in the list. So due to time constraints more than anything else, this I think is the first season where every single entry wasn't sort of played and was just scored separately on an independent sheet. So for one reason or another, this one didn't make the grade. I can't compare back, so I can't make as many notes as I normally would based on previous performances. But that's something that I would tend to chart. There was one I was looking at here, for example, for AJ in 2022. So an improvement on last time. You've pitched better to give yourself room and some lovely warmth. So referring back to what they did before, what changes they've made, and wanting to point that out for the progression. So I'm a little bit limited, in hearing this for the first time. Also, I will perhaps go through and tweak some of these ratings at a later point. Maybe we'll record that as a little tweak before we start the deliberation or the voting or something. But for the moment, this is going to land me in a 7. I don't know the original, so while I type out a few notes, I'll put it on in the background. Which I'm assuming is this one.
As I wandered by the wooded rills where evening shadows play.
Helps if you spell it right, doesn't it? There we go.
Whippoorwill in the winter time, have you been here long? Whippoorwill, can you fly above the place you don't belong? Lift your eyes, build a nest. You might find one bough still verdant. Whippoorwill, take your rest.
Okay, nice. And then let's compare back to the original. Not the original, sorry, the cover.
Have you been here long? Whippoorwill, can you fly above the place you don't belong? Whippoorwill, in the winter time, lift your eyes, build
Okay, so I'm fairly confident with my 7 at this point. So comments that I've typed out. Light and airy tone reminds me of Karen Carpenter. So this is going back years and years ago. And I interviewed a local singer on a radio show that I used to have. And they said that their inspiration was Karen Carpenter of the Carpenters for singing inspiration, because she didn't need any acrobatics whatsoever. There's no Mariah Carey related runs or anything like that. It was just sing it straight, sing it clean, and that's all you need. And this is a prime example of keeping it simple really does hit the spot. There's beautiful fluttery vibrato with some excellent sustain. A few things that I picked up on. At times, especially on some of the lower notes, it gets a little too breathy. I understand that's a stylistic choice, I'm sure, but it just needs a little bit of polish and a little bit of refinement. If you're going to sing in quite a soft style, things like microphone pops can be a little more jarring than normal. So a pop shield, just pulling back a little bit from the microphone and turning the gain up might help. And the low harmony, I felt like the lowest part may have been a touch flat, but because it was dialed back so far in the mix, it's tough to pick that up. And now I could potentially split the stems out and listen to it if I wanted to and stick it into production and mess about with all that sort of thing. Not going to in this example. And it was so subtle that it doesn't make a huge difference. But I would have loved that low harmony just to be up in the mix a bit more and to give it a bit more punch and low end. But that is purely a production thing, which I know isn't the point of the competition, but it does come up a lot and it's something that can differentiate. So that's a fairly solid, fairly strong start, though.
We rise together as our destiny unfolds. We face the darkness and our trials are yet untold. Through the shadows of despair, oh, in silence hopes we share. Whoa, whoa, to chase our dreams that we've declared. Heads up, the wheels are spinning across the plains and valleys deep to dawn. The wheels that sing an unending dream. Heads up, the tracks are running across the plains where shadows hide. We run, we strive. Whoa, 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 whoa. Heads up, a steady rhythm, a destination that's ever near. It comes, strive to our kingdom to see the light of day. Heads up, the wheels are singing, the whispers and secrets they keep. To hope we bound. Whoa.
Okay, let's get the original up quickly. Another one that I don't recognise, but it looks to be anime album cover.
Mend your pace, sway to the beat. Hands up, embrace who you wanna be. We're reaching heights unseen. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Feel the fire deep within. You're the key.
Helps if you listen to the right song, doesn't it? There we go.
We rise together as our destiny unfolds. We face the darkness and our trials are yet untold. Through the shadows of despair, oh, in silence hopes we share. Whoa, whoa, to chase our dreams that we've declared. We glimpse through eyes, yet fools blind our sight. Can make what they say. We'll find our way. We'll find our way. Hands up, the wheels are spinning across the plains and valleys deep to dawn.
Okay, so little alarm bell here. Just listen to the original. How back in the mix the vocal is.
The wheels that sing an unending dream. Heads up, the tracks are running across the plains where shadows hide. We run, we strive. Whoa.
Okay, so that's a stylistic thing from a production standpoint, but if something is so heavily backed into the mix, then the vocal isn't really the main focus on what's going on here. But sometimes you have to hear things in context, and when you hear the context of the original and the key that it starts in compared to the voice that our guy here has got, this song is not in his range whatsoever. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You could take something like this and you could drop it down and sing it in baritone, but you have to do it in the right way. And again, you could make it inspirational. You could make it kind of like, you could go kind of musical theatre with it, I guess. But you have to actually do that. And then going into the actual entry again, let's step it back, because that's given me a bit of context to go on.
We rise together as our destiny unfolds. We face the darkness and our trials are yet untold. Through the shadows of despair, oh, in silence hopes we share. Whoa, whoa, to chase our dreams that we've declared. Heads up, the wheels are spinning across the plains and valleys deep to dawn. The wheels that sing an unending dream. Heads up.
Okay, so here's the problem. Heads up is his level. That's his kind of comfort zone. But most of the entry, he's going up from there, trying to reach, and that's where some of the problems are coming from. So the voice sounds unsupported in points, especially when pushing for those higher notes, and then the notes are also falling either sharp or flat. So there's no real pattern to it. It's either one or the other, but it's generally just not in the right place when singing up. A little waily in points. Diction as well is a bit of a problem. There are a few phrases that aren't coming out clean, which is, again, something else to watch out for.
The tracks are running across the plains.
Just going to turn the volume down a bit so you can hear me over it. But
We run, we strive. Whoa,
sounds a little sharp.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Flat there.
whoa, 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 whoa,
Sharp and then sharp again.
whoa, whoa,
Flat.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Heads up, a steady rhythm, a destination salvation that's ever near. It comes, strive to our kingdom to see the light of day. Heads up, the wheels are singing, the whispers and secrets they keep. To hope we bound. Whoa.
Timing as well. Timing's just a little off on that one as well. So this for me is going to be it's going to be a 4 from me. So 3.5 was my passing score in round 1. I'm just looking for any kind of potential, really. When we're whittling down to a final 30 or a final 60 or whatever the number happens to be, 4 just ain't really going to cut it. For example, eventual winner Emma at 4 was a no from me, but when you're working with 2 other judges, they can potentially change this order around a little bit, and some people score too highly to not miss out. But for this, it's just a song choice thing. If he chose something that was in the heads up kind of range and didn't involve too much movement from there, he probably would have been all right. Because I know from personal experience, if I try and sing something that's too high and I just can't get there, I'm going to be all over the shop. I'm going to be flat, sharp, nowhere near, voice breaks, all sorts of things going wrong. It just makes it very, very difficult. So that, I think, I didn't hear the first entry from him. It was one of those that wasn't featured. I wasn't sent the files because I'm not judging this time around. All that stuff. So I didn't hear what he did before, but it's either going to be one of those. It was either an entry that was much more in his range, and this is a shame, or it was someone that showed a bit of potential, but we haven't seen enough improvement.
You're original, cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds after a hurricane comes a rainbow, maybe a reason why all the doors are closed, so you can open one that leads you to the perfect road. Like a lightning bolt, your heart will glow, and when it's time you'll know. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just own the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework. Come on, let your colors burst. Make 'em go You're gonna leave them all in awe. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. It's always been inside of you, you. And now it's time to let it through.
Okay, so I need to tweak some of my scoring. 3. And then this is going to move up to a 4. This is one of those processes you kind of do behind, well, you do behind closed doors normally. You're seeing behind the curtain a little bit. But I will kind of adjust as things go on. Either because it's been so long since I've listened to them previously that I need to kind of get myself back into the swing of it, or when you're dealing with a stack load of entries, they may come in at different points. You may have different listening sessions. You may hear things differently at different points, etc. So it needs a little bit of fine-tuning along the way. Another issue with song choice. So Katy Perry, I know the song. I don't need to listen to this one. We don't need to listen to this one, I don't think, as a general rule. But she is a very tough vocal range to be in. I think Katy Perry is actually more achievable in some ways for a more stereotypically male voice than a female one. She sits in this really awkward mid-range, where if you have the voice for it, absolutely you can nail it, but very few sort of typically female voices don't sit there. And it's not a comfortable area to be in. And you can hear this in this entry, probably in the first sort of 10 seconds, where it is just too low. And as it steps up to the next level, then it gets better. And then the big high part in the chorus, the inspirational part, it really starts to hit as well. This does improve. Also a little thing on production-wise, says backing track by, but we don't hear a backing track, so I don't really know what happened to that. Let's go back and...
You can open one that leads you to the perfect road, like a lightning bolt. Your heart will glow.
So this is just
and
too
when
low.
It's time you'll know. You've just gotta ignite the light.
Nice sustain now.
And let it shine. Just own the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go,
Not a lot of dynamic range as that's building up. So while it sounds like it's building up and it builds up in pitch to get to the big finish, we don't really have a big difference in power. There's a point as well, which you can't always tell without a video, where she takes a clear breath, just doesn't quite have enough in the lungs to be able to support the long run.
And when it's time, you'll know. You've just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just own the night like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firework.
So this part should be kind of like a belt.
Burst. Make 'em go, You're gonna leave them all in awe.
I mean, it's no different from the original as well, but some of the phrases you can't necessarily determine what the words are. I know the original is a little bit the same. You can't tell that last word is or necessarily, but it's something that should maybe be picked up on a little bit. So let's start with low part of the song is not in your range. Dynamics aren't building. The energy stays the same. What else was there? A few phrases could be enunciated better. Are unsupported in runs. Okay.
Boom, boom. It's always been inside of you, and now it's time to let it through.
Okay, so a couple of notes there felt a little bit strained as well. I mean, a few of those in there. That last one, nice sustain, some good warmth behind it. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of potential there, but unfortunately, when you get to these later stages, it gets quite brutal.
You have to think in ways you've never thought. You have to make the best of what you've got. Find the answers hiding in between. See a door that no one's ever seen. Something's there, you feel it. Stop to look. You it's all around. So you're stuck in the middle of a moment. No clear path, no shining star. Only steps away, the world's okay, but you can't see that far. And there, in the middle of a moment, you're halfway to somewhere new. Can't go back, keep pushing through. Cause there is magic. Now you know you made magic, made it grow in wonderful, marvelous things can come true in the middle of a moment. In the middle of a moment, in the middle of a moment, you're on your way.
The start of that was so weak, unfortunately. Don't know the original, so let me get that up and have a listen.
If this is what my family has to be, then I don't need one watching over me. A family doesn't make you sleep outside. A family doesn't laugh and say you lied. Remember what a home is. Think of how your life should be. But you're stuck in the middle of a moment. Can't crawl out of where you are. Only steps away, the world's okay, but you can't see that far. Stuck in the middle of a moment that's halfway to somewhere new. Can't go back, you're moving through. You'll have to think in ways you've never thought. You'll have to make the best of what you've got. Find the answers hiding in between. See a door that no one's ever seen. Something's there, far there, in the middle of a moment. You're halfway to somewhere new. And marvelous, wonderful things can come true in the middle of a moment. In the middle of a moment. In the middle of a moment. You're on your
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Okay, that's it's a tough act to follow. Let's go back to the original then.
You have to think in ways you've never thought. You have to make the best of what you've got. Find the answers hiding in between. See a door that no one's ever seen. Something's there, you feel it. Stop to look, it's all around. So you're stuck in the middle of a moment. No clear path, no shining star. only steps away. The world's okay, but you can't see that far. And there, in the middle of a moment, you're halfway to somewhere new. Can't go back, keep pushing through. Cause there is magic. Now you know you mean magic. Made it grow in wonderful, marvelous things can come true in the middle of a moment. In the middle of a moment, in the middle of a moment, you're on your way.
Okay, this one is going to be... It's grown on me on the second listen, but I'm going to pick up on song choice and general, song choice and the musical theatre choice in particular. Now, there have been certain rounds when musical theatre has been a necessity and it's had very mixed results, but at least we are pushing in that direction from the judges. That's what we wanted. Now, the thing with musical theatre, amongst other things, is there is a lot of talk singing in it, kind of as part of the process, which to me, which is why I said it was quite a weak start, which jumped out at me as the first thing. Second of all, there is a little bit of over performance, maybe, if you're talking about what you would do on stage compared to if you were in a singing competition or in a studio or that sort of thing, which causes some problems here and there. And there are certain vocal qualities that come with musical theatre, like a nasality is quite common that doesn't always translate to something a bit more mainstream, and there's a lot of issues with it. This is another song choice thing. A bit like the one we listened to 2 songs ago, this isn't in his natural range. And the problem with that, compared to the original that we just listened to, is the original leaves a lot of space. In that if you have a voice that allows you to hit the upper register quite comfortably, then you can push up for that, throw up for that, and then you've got a whole lot of softness that you can use just below that sort of lower register. So it gives you a lot more dynamics. With this, because Andy isn't necessarily in his most comfortable range to get to the high parts, he's also having to work quite hard to get to everything below. Completely unrelated, but, well, not completely, but unrelated to musical theatre. But I've heard a lot of people try and cover Evanescence, Lithium. And the problem that they have is when it comes to the really big, high, powerful note, like it's kind of at a level, and then there is one time when it amps up to the next level. And part of the issue is that when Amy Lee can hang in head voice, a lot of people that cover it just can't. They have to put a bit more push from their diaphragm to be able to get those sustained runs in. And that's where it starts to fall apart. This is the same problem because Andy needs to put more chest voice into more of the song than the original. He loses some of the dynamics. He loses some of the airiness, and it looks and it feels like he's going all out for this thing the whole time, when actually there's lightness to it. And it builds into this beautiful, long, sustained... it's just, yeah. So, compared to the previous 2 entries, though, he clearly has more that he's showing, which I'm going to go back to. I'm going to listen to it one more time, and then I'm going to start putting my notes in.
You have to think in ways you've never thought. You have to make the best of what you've got. Find the answers hiding in between. See a door that no one's ever seen. Something's there, you feel it. Stop to look, it's all around. So you're stuck in the middle of a moment. No clear path, no shining star. Only steps away, the world's okay, but you can't see that far. And there, in the middle of a moment, you're halfway to somewhere new. Can't go back, keep pushing through. Cause there is magic. Now you know you made magic, made it grow in wonderful, marvelous things can come true in the middle of a moment. In the middle of a moment, in the middle of a moment, you're on your way.
Okay, so my notes then, a little too much theatre at the beginning. Song is testing your range too much, so you can't add the softness. And this, I think, is the biggest crime from this, is the dynamic from the original has all been lost. It's all just trying to power through it, which, if you try to cover something that's inspirational, there will be some softness, there will probably be some tragedy at some point, and then there will be the punch, where it's like, okay, here's your inspirational message. This is what you take away from it. And this is just kind of hitting you the whole time. So you're not getting that. And I think a few of these have already shown that that's a bit of a problem. A few notes are coming out flat. A few points, the timing is a little off, cues are missed, or you can tell that he's in the wrong place and then adjusting a little bit. The sustain is excellent, but he kind of hits the sustain and then there's a... falls off it at the end, which could do with some cleaning up and some tightening up. It's a little jarring, but it's not a big thing in the grand scheme of things. So that's 5.5. So in second place so far, but I think that's going to struggle to make it to round 3, to be honest.
I hope that you spend your days and they all add up. And when the sun goes down, hope you raise your cup. I wish that I could witness all your joy and all your pain. But until that moment comes, I'll say I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. Saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, that's where I live. Whatever you wanna do, I'll be here right next to you. No matter what comes your way, I hope that you can say I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. Saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I lived. I lived, I lived, I lived, I lived. Oh, I did it all. I did it all. I did it all. Oh, oh, and I swear I lived.
Okay, let's go listen to this Class of 2017 mashup from Anthem Lights, just to see if there's anything drastically different that they're doing that kind of explains this.
Wish we could turn back time to the good old days. It was a big, big world, but I thought we were bigger. Pushing each other to the limits, we were learning quicker. I always had that dream like my daddy before me, so I started writing songs.
Click the wrong song again.
I
My
hope
bad.
the days come easy. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting. I can almost see it. Screams out, they're screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you'll say it's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. I did it all.
Okay, there's something about 4-part harmonies that just gets you right in the feels. But again, that sets quite a high bar. Let's go back to this again. I'll make a few notes as we go.
I hope that you spend your days and they all add up. And when the sun goes down, hope you raise your cup. I wish that I could witness all your joy and all your pain. But until that moment comes, I'll say I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. Saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I live. Whatever you wanna do, I'll be here right next to you. No matter what comes your way, I hope that you can say I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. Saw so many places, the things that I did. With every broken bone, I swear I lived. I lived, I lived, I lived, I lived. Oh, I did it all. I did it all. I did it all. Oh, oh, and I swear I lived. You can be a lover.
Okay, let's stick in my score. So that one's going to be a 3 from me. So the ends of the phrases are quite clipped. You would expect a little bit of sustain and they just kind of stop. The phrases aren't clear, and it's a combination of nasality, I think, and just kind of pushing too hard to get up to the notes. And the song seems to be too high for you at points. The timing is rushed on multiple occasions. And the harmony lines we are getting, they are super low in the mix. And again, it's hard to tell when they are that low in the mix. But yeah, I've got that on full volume as well. But I got the feeling that they're a little on the flat side. So they probably wouldn't help you out all that much either. So that one, unfortunately, is not going to be a goer.
You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. Life is like a runway and you're the designer. Wings of a butterfly, eyes of a tiger. Whatever you want, baby, choose your fighter. I know this work can be a little confusing, no walk in the park, but I can't help talk riddle. You're perfect as you are. If you wanna break out of the box, you wanna call all of the shots. If you wanna be sweet or be tough, you go off. If you wanna wear 6-inch flag, you wanna wear hot pink or black, don't let nobody tell you you can't, cause you can. You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. Life is like a runway and you're the designer. Wings of a butterfly, eyes of a tiger. Whatever you want, baby, choose your fighter. Oh, pretty, not shining diamonds. Oh, beauty, green and camouflage. It's given thunder lightning. When you give it all you've got. If you wanna go out of the box, you wanna call all of the shots. If you wanna be sweet or be soft, then go off. If you wanna wear 6-inch flat, if you wanna wear hot pink and black, don't let nobody tell you you can't, cause you can. You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. Life is like a runway and you're the designer. Wings of a butterfly, eyes of a tiger. Whatever you want, baby, choose your fighter. Oh, 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 choose your fighter. Choose your fighter. Wings of a butterfly, eyes of a tiger. Whatever you want, baby, choose your fighter.
Okay, that's quite a thing. Okay. Also, just noticed we're at 55 minutes already. I'm going to have to do these. I'm either going to have to tweak my process, or I'm going to have to do these one per video. So yeah, let's do aria next. I can do this in one swoop. So let's go one more listen through, and I'll type as I go.
I swear I live. You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. Life is like a runway and you're the designer. Wings of a butterfly, eyes of a tiger. Whatever you want, baby, choose your fighter. I know this work can be a little confusing, no walk in the park, but I can't help talk riddle. You're perfect as you are. If you wanna break out of the box, you wanna call all of the shots. If you wanna be sweet or be tough, you go off. If you wanna wear 6-inch flag, you wanna wear hot pink or black, don't let nobody tell you you can't, cause you can. You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. Life is like a runway and you're the designer. Wings of a butterfly, eyes of a tiger. Whatever you want, baby, choose your fighter. Oh, pretty, not shining diamonds. Oh, beauty, green and camouflage. It's given thunder lightning. When you give it all you've got. If you wanna go out of the box, you wanna call all of the shots. If you wanna be sweet or be soft, then go off. If you wanna wear 6-inch flat, if you wanna wear hot pink and black, don't let nobody tell you you can't, cause you can. You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. Life is like a runway and you're the designer. Wings of a butterfly, eyes of a tiger. Whatever you want, baby, choose your fighter. Oh, choose your fighter.
I mean, catchy song, but definitely not the best one for a singing competition audition, that's for sure. So we've got a poor mic quality and far too close to it as well. It sounds like you're eating the thing, chewing on it like it's a snack. I'm sure John will make a comment like that. So, hey, may as well join the party. So one or two phrases in there, you just don't get the word out of your mouth. It kind of disappears completely. The whole thing sounds more like talking than singing, which is part technique, part song choice. You definitely need to focus on your projection when it goes into the high notes and the runs. So those are unsupported, they're falling flat. Again, go back to the note on projection. Pick something that gives you a bit of space and a bit of time. Focus on singing loudly and getting the volume up, getting some air moving, and then you can start to look at a few other things as far as your technique goes. That would probably sort out the issue of flatness, or at least get you closer, would be a start. Getting yourself into a better recording setup might work as well, because it sounds very sort of muffled, and there's no way you can get dynamic when you've got a microphone that close to your face for a start. So even if it's there, it's very tough to predict, but that's a fairly comfortable 2, and we can move on.
Come on, skinny love, just last to hear. Pour a little song we will never hear. Mama, my, mama, my, mama, my, mama, my. Staring at the sink of blood and crushed veneer. Then my love to wreck it all. Cut all of the ropes and let me fall. Mama, my, mama, my, mama, my, mama, my. Right in the moment, this soul there's slow. And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And in the morning I'll be with you, but it will be a different kind. 'Cause I'll be holding all the tickets, and you'll be holding all the fights. Ooh. Come on, skinny love, what happened here? Stuck alone there, hoping like Brazil. Mama, my, mama, my, mama, my. Sudden load is full, so slow on display. One day.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. I think I'm in trouble. So something that tends to happen with me when I'm judging this is a voice comes along that's a little bit different. And that, just like Petrie loves a rock voice, a voice that's a little bit different just hits me in the feels. Bernadette, this is going to sound like an odd question, but I would ask if English is your first language. I would say maybe it isn't. There's a couple of things that I'm picking up on which are quite interesting, which would make sense if English wasn't your first language, just in terms of, I guess, mouth shape more than anything else. Beautiful song. I think quite a difficult one. There is a lot of dynamic in it and a lot of... it's tough. Sarah Bareilles is another one of those. Like if you cover it and you cover it straight and you miss a lot of the nuance in it, and like from a guitar standpoint, you talk about ghost notes and little things like that that just add movement and difference into it. This is a tough song in terms of that. You have to build in the subtlety. Now this definitely has problems, quite glaring problems actually, which I'm going to note down, but I really like it regardless. It's one of those hairs on your arm standing up kind of feels that I'm getting. So let's have another listen. I'm going to put some notes in while we're at it.
Come on, skinny love, just last to hear. Pour a little song we will never hear. Mama, my, mama, my, mama, my, mama, my. Staring at the sink of blood and crushed veneer. They might love to wreck it all. Cut all of the ropes and let me fall. Mama, my, mama, my, mama, my, mama, my. Right in the moment, they sold their soul. And I told you to be patient, and I told you to be fine, and I told you to be balanced, and I told you to be kind. And in the morning I'll be with you, but it will be a different kind. 'Cause I'll be holding all the tickets, and you'll be holding all the fights. Ooh. Come on, skinny love, what happened here? Cycle on the hoping like Brazil. Mama, my, mama, my, mama, my. Sudden load is full, so slow on display.
One day you look up at the ceiling above.
Okay, so notes, score is a tough one. What am I going to do on the score on this? Okay, so there are issues with diction, which is why I mentioned about the second language thing. Part of it is mouth shape, and some of it is just wrapping your tongue around it, which I think would make sense if you are... Oh, this is me guesstimating, but if you were from... If your first language involved maybe rolling your tongue a little bit, so if you were, say, Spanish or French, for example, then I can maybe understand that wrapping your mouth around some of the phrases would be a little bit challenging. So that's something just to tighten up, only because it's quite jarring, I think, when it happens, and it pulls you out at certain moments. But the sustain and the vibrato are wonderful in this, and we talk sometimes or a lot about dynamics and not feeling enough dynamic into the performance. In this, there are dynamics in the sustain. Like, it softens up and then it builds back up, and that's the kind of thing that is tough to do. It's something that some of the very best singers have the ultimate control over, and they can, in the middle of a phrase, in the middle of a sustained phrase, build and kind of bring it up, bring it down, bring it back up again, build it into a crescendo, whatever they want. That is some ultimate control, and the subtle use of harmony, enjoyed that as well. Maybe needs a little bit of tweaking from the production standpoint as to how it comes in and the mixing and that sort of thing, but I enjoy the use of it. I like that it wasn't overused. Score-wise, now this is tough because there are clearly some issues here. As far as diction goes, when there were problems, it was maybe one of the worst of the times I've mentioned diction so far. But I really enjoy the performance nonetheless. So I'm going to give this one a 6.5. This is where the tweak might need to come in. I might need to bump Ada up, for example, and bump Bernadette up, for example, because I really enjoyed the vocal performance here with Bernadette's, but there were far less issues on Ada's in terms of that. Like maybe if she had a pop shield, for example, she could rule out and deal with the issues that she's got with hers. With this, it's more of a technical thing that will be tougher to address and maybe easier to spot, which is where the half a point difference comes from. But in terms of taking that out of the equation, pure vocal delivery, the two of them are very much on a par for me. Let's do this. 7. We'll go to a 7.5 up here. Okay, on to the next one. Brianna Lee.
One day you'll look up at the ceiling above. If you're lucky, you'll be surrounded by the ones that you love. When the lights in your eyes fade and light flashes by, one day you're going to die. Read your horoscopes, your palms and tarot cards, but either way your destination ain't very far. You could drown or choke or burn or be hit by a car. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but something will eventually. One day you'll look back at the life that you led. No more future left to fear that you'll have the past to regret. But your worries will be over if you truly realize one day you're going to die. In the fabric of time and in the vastness of space, a billion amounts to nothing in infinity space. At most a couple generations will remember the ways in which your life never mattered. So who cares if it's a waste? Well, one day you'll be not even a fake memory. No, at most a ghost or fallen leaf from your family tree. Your legacy is not yours to see, nor is your eulogy, and you'll never know what it all means. But you'll be at peace before you sleep if you just keep this in mind. Not everything and everyone goes with the passage of time. So whether it's cancer, murder, or suicide, one day you're going to die. Don't need to fear, 'cause when it's here you won't be alive. Try not to think about it. One day you're going to die. Nothing after. One day you're going to die, die, die. Have a chance, you ought to try your best to live as you like. One day you're going to die.
Well, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to move just a little bit quicker. Otherwise, I'm going to be late for that house viewing that I mentioned. And this has taken way longer than planned. Interesting experiment, though. Good to know that this is the case. So, Brianna Lee, this is a 5.5 for me. I'm going to put this roughly on par with Andy's. So, with this, there is a bit of a... Let's say a bit. So a lack of dynamic range due to the choice of style, which is kind of unavoidable, I guess. So lack of dynamic range due to choice of style. A few of the phrases end up tailing off or seeming... It feels like there's a drop in volume at times when maybe there shouldn't be, or where you have liked a little more sustain or the like. You know, adding in a bit of dynamic here and there, if it is intended, is great, but if it's happening due to more of a technical thing rather than a stylistic choice, then that's something to definitely pick up on. So there was a clear shift in energy, but it would have been nice to have more of that through the song. So mainly being the subject matter is you're going to die, but it only starts to ramp up at a point like right towards the end, and maybe there was a chance to be a little more subtle at points, just to play with the energy a little more and again build up to something. But I like that one. It was on a similar level to Andy's, but since they're both a little more erring on the side of theatrical, then I think that kind of stacks up.
There's a struggle that we have yet to make, and there's pride in our hearts, 'cause I know where I'm going, yes I do, and I know where I've been, yeah. There's a road we must travel. There is a promise that we must make. Oh, but the riches will be plenty. Yeah. Worth the risk and the chances we take. There's a dream, yeah. In the future, there's a struggle that we have yet to make. Use that pride in our hearts to lift us up until tomorrow. 'Cause just to sit still would be a sin. Lord knows I know where I've been. Yeah, I give thanks to my God, 'cause I know where I've
Okay, we can rapid fire this one. Let's go with a 3. I'm going to listen to it and just make some notes.
In our hearts, 'cause I know where I'm going, yes I do, and I know where I've been, yeah. There's a road we must travel. There is a promise that we must make. Oh, but the riches will be plenty. Yeah. Worth the risk and the chances we take. There's a dream, yeah. In the future, there's a struggle that we have yet to make. Use that pride in our hearts to lift us up until tomorrow. 'Cause just to sit still would be a sin. Lord knows I know where I've been. Yeah, I give thanks to my God, 'cause I know where I've
Okay, so my principal note on this one, it's worrying when the backing singers are running all over the lead line. So a lot of the phrases, you're struggling to wrap your tongue around them, so you're not getting the enunciation right, and you're also just struggling to get the words out in general. I don't know if this is just a mouth technique thing or a breath support thing or a combination of the two, but it feels like you have to have your foot on the gas the whole way. So we're not getting any element of subtlety. When you are gunning it, you don't really have the power to be able to pull this one off. So song choice issue for a start, which is setting yourself up for a failure before you even begin. And I think you probably need to work on your breathing and getting some support to begin with. And then that will give you a bit more power when you are trying to gun it compared to what you've got at the moment. And then from there, you can build in the subtlety and add in the softness and add your dynamic from that point. But it just feels like you are trying to... What's the line from Top Gun? Your ego's writing checks that your body can't cash. In this case, you are trying to power through something that you haven't got the facilities to pull off just yet. But that's something that you can work on over time. And I think starting with just breathing, getting more force behind your work for a start is a good place to start.
To all the days we had together, to all the time we were apart of each other's lives, heart to heart. And so I had a late arrival, so we never saw the start of each other's lives, heart to heart, heart to heart, heart to heart, heart to heart. Heart to heart. No, it seems so quick and easy, sentimentally assumed, walking parallels, heart to heart.
What a shame, because I feel like I gave Cameron, I don't know if it's the same Cameron, but there was a Cameron that I gave a 6 for in round 1, and if it's the same guy, I'm going to have to knock him down a fair bit from that, unfortunately. So this for me is going to be a 4.5, and the only thing that I can really point out is there just wasn't enough stuff. There is a track which has so much space in it, and then it is one dynamic, it is one key, we're seeing no range, we're seeing no real emotion, we are seeing no real energy. Yeah, it's very disappointing in that regard. Like, I think he's hitting the brief of what the song is, but it's not inspirational. I don't think it really counts as indie for me. Indie suggests guitar bands more often than not. Conveys a lot more energy than that. Yeah, I think it's unfortunately just lacking in so much, and I think the guy's got talent. You can just tell, like, the guy has some talent in there. but he just hasn't used it in any regard. He's got a cool voice, a bit of uniqueness to his voice, but he hasn't shown us anything. And if you don't show that in the audition, then you kind of can't expect to progress too far in it, which really makes my 4.5 a little generous. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to make it a 3. And I am massively, massively running over time. I have massively misjudged how long this is going to take. I need to run, so I'm going to stop right here. Thank you very much for watching. And it looks like, unless I can condense this a lot, we're going to be doing 1 video per part of the entries. Oh, this is going to be a project, but all good fun. Looking forward to having you guys with me. Thank you very much for watching. Drop a subscribe if you're watching on YouTube or a follow on Twitch. It's appreciated, and I don't know how I'm going to make this work, but we will try and keep with this thing the whole way.